efficient digging. Hello out there. If you're listening to this right now, you probably like Age of Sigmar. And
I
you'd probably
do.
like to have the last word, because this is...
What is it?
It's Always Strikes Last.
Ah!
The Always Strikes Late edition.
Pew, pew, pew,
Yes.
pew.
Me, Jack. I'm joined by co-hosts Matt, Rocco, and Alex. You guys got a foursome today, which is normally a little bit extra.
Run by the players, supporting the two best teams in baseball if you're baseball fans.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Let's
And
go.
then one supporting what feels like the worst after their last game. But it's okay. You go
But they're
be more.
all wearing orange.
But they're wearing the good orange, not the bad orange.
Okay.
Indeed.
Debatable.
You go
So-
O's. You go O's.
Well, speaking beyond baseball to the true game of kings, the Age of Sigmar. If you're all listening to this, you guys probably know what that's all about. And today we have a very fun episode. We're going to talk about a tournament.
Our
And
tournament.
In fact, our tournament, the Always Strikes Last Slow Roll RTT2. We're going to talk about the 28
Boogaloo.
lists comprising this shindig here.
Yeah.
Maybe fun way to kind of get into, what makes up an event. Like what do you see? What are the ideas that float around? And we're not nearly done yet, but what kind of plays into like that battle for the top?
Indeed.
Yeah. We got 28 players. We got some heavy hitters in there too.
Yeah,
A lot
we
of
do.
people, far and
Exactly.
wide.
Yep.
But from across the pond too, we even got some Italians. as
Yeah, the
Brett would
Italian
say.
contingent,
Amici.
Yep.
East Coast, West Coast,
Viva Azul.
Amalfi
Mediterranean coast.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Amalfi Coast. Lovely player.
Yeah, so
some good stuff.
Yeah.
So what do we want to look at? We want to look at the list here.
Yeah,
Take a
let's
little-
start at the
Yeah,
top.
Definitely.
Little known player,
Mhm.
relative
Never heard of him.
relative new name, Mason Knox with his Gloomspike Gets list.
Mhm.
Now, this one is, you guys probably, if you listened to the last episode, knew what he was doing because I sort of dared him into it.
Mhm.
But this is the Git mob. Like he's gone full Snarl Fang, something, chasing, making it work list here. And I, for one, am
Please.
here for it. Yeah. So what do we
This is
talk
a
about?
list. It
It
is. I
is
don't
a
know if any
list.
of you guys have played against any of this. It's brutal.
Mhm.
Those cavalry packs.
Mhm.
Drogs by himself is fantastic. -1 to hit, no all out attack, and no all out attack.
Yeah.
It's just brutal.
Yep. Yeah, it
I
can
do.
be. It's some weird play style though.
Yeah.
He's so squishy. I found that out last Saturday.
Oh.
Did you play against this, Matt? Like at that other event you went to?
No, I actually brought a converted. So I brought all my spiders into the RTT that Ricky Fisher, who we are going to have on this show, and you should
Friend of the
definitely
channel.
go support his Patreon because
We'll link it below.
Yep, we'll
Makes
link
amazing
it in
battle
the
map.
description below. He's a wonderful person and a great person to
He
talk
is.
about community building,
Yeah.
which is one day we'll have him on. But anyways, he put on a tournament at Mox, one of our local cafe Warhammer area things, and I ended up bringing spiders. One of the things that I have are a bunch of the spider bosses that are now like legended or just nixed models because this is my life. And so one of them I turned into Drog. So I had a very custom spider Drog.
I was wondering what that model was.
Spider
so
Wolf
he was
spiders.
essentially Drog, right? But his -1 to hit and no all out attack aura is beautiful for
Has 6 inches too. Does not need to be in combat.
Yep.
Gentleman 6 inches.
But the problem is
Nice.
if somebody can hit you with a 2-punch, they can pile right into combat with the other unit. So he's actually a lot harder to use in some instances, especially let's say if you're fighting Sons of Behemoth, where you can't kill them in a reply.
On say
just
I'll
not
pick
that
a battle
I
plan,
had
Star
that
Strike?
experience. Yeah,
Hypothetically,
on
of
Star
course.
Strike, hypothetically, 100%.
All
But
right, that
yeah,
makes
so
sense.
back to us.
super good. He I know Mason Mason did go into why he's awesome in the last tournament, or the last episode, but like he's very squishy, so he has to be played like very concisely. So that's where I think Mason does super well with this list. It makes it scary. Otherwise,
that makes a lot of sense. I mean, for those using their ears rather than their eyes, let's just read off the list real quick so they kind of get a sense for what it is. So 3 drops. Gloomspite gets Drogs, gets Mob. Got a General's Regiment with Drogs the Sun Chopper, the man himself. A reinforced unit of Sunsteel Wheelers, so 4 Ramshackle Chariots. Yep. Then another regiment, this time led by a Snarl Boss with a couple of the artifacts and heroic traits, that Glare Faces Grin and the Plucky Get. And then count them 3 reinforced units of the Snarl Pack Cavalry.
Yep.
Which are the it's like the
heavy
the 2
wolf.
is that the 2 gets 1 pup? 2 gets 1 pup wolves. Okay, yeah. Then the Regiment 2 with the Snarl Boss, a Doom Diver Catapults, and then another unit of reinforced Snarlfang Riders, which is the other, Wolf Cavalry unit, and another unit of Sunsteel Wheelers. So count on what you said, 30 wolves was that, Alex, or 9
30
wolves?
wolves, yeah.
30 wolves.
The new 18 eels. Let me tell you.
A lot of chariot bodies.
I had several games this weekend where I finished my game early and I walked over by Mason's table, where Mason played next to me. Yeah. And the Doom Diver Catapult was like deep struck or behind enemy lines. And I just looked at him and was like, the hell going on? And he's just like, don't you worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Did he teleport it there? Is that what he did? Or something?
I don't ask, don't tell. It was just worth behind enemy lines.
Mechanic of the army is this is one of the armies of renown out of the new book. Okay. And so they're really cool. So Drog can do a once per army, or once per turn army. 4+, I can yeet out of combat as soon as somebody declares a fight, right? So it's a reaction to a fight. So that means that Drog has it native on his war scroll, and then you have another unit that can do it. So that's 2 per turn units that you can yeet out of combat if you want, which is really powerful in and of itself. You. Yep. And I don't know if it's that for every one of them. But like the basic once per turn, like the battle trait for the Regiment of Renown or the Army of Renown, doesn't throw the mortals on them. I think that may be Drog itself or it's chariot based. It depends on who it is. But they also can outflank a la Beastmen. So it's like playing Beastmen chariots, essentially, and Centaurs, only they really, really suck in combat, except they throw a lot of mortal wounds over the game. So the other thing that's really super strong about this is that they can essentially, in the combat phase, once per turn, so once per turn, on a 3 and up, they pick a target, it cannot pile in. So you want to know how to use Drog perfectly? That is exactly how you do it, right?
Very good.
Yeah. Very, very good. But they work in the same way as like Beastman Ambush, and it's an entire army of just fast moving, like insanity.
This is a very, very techie army. Listeners, if this is your first army getting into Age of Sigmar and you are looking for a not bad experience, do not pick this army up for your first army.
No. Yeah,
experienced players will struggle with it.
I'm sure watching Mason with this is like watching a stuntman pull off something that would probably kill you if you tried it yourself.
Yeah, pretty much. You really need to read the user manual like 4 or 5 times before you put it together,
Yeah. Wait, Alex, I cut you off on this. You had another thought on this too, didn't you? I want
to. Watching Mason play this is like Alan from The Hangover when he's playing blackjack, just all the numbers flashing up on the screen. It's like seeing that while looking over. He's always like staring over. He's like, "I got this." And I was like, I don't get it. What's going on? Yeah.
I love it.
I feel like that's the point, right? That's what makes it so cool, and like that's why I'm building something close to it, because it's just wacky.
It's fun. It's very Goblin. It's very Goblin.
I get it. I think I get it. Say pun intended. Boom.
Yeah.
All
So
I'll be here all night.
yeah, it's gonna be scary.
It'll be a
I
long
played
one,
against
ladies.
a version of this. Our listener Charles
Mhm.
played a version of this on Saturday, and I played him on
Okay.
Star Strike, and
Yeah.
it didn't go so well into the Catacross Death Star.
Yeah.
That seems right.
Weight of attacks does not work on OBR. It just doesn't. It's only rend and quality.
I don't care about
Cool.
Ren.
All right.
And I'm
Yeah.
having a lot of
Edenite.
armor saves.
I don't
Yeah,
know, man.
God,
Rend
what a
3.
armor saves.
Rend 3 all over.
That's
Rend 3
fair.
all over. We'll still do it.
All right. So who's our number 2, guys? Is it Ian Walker?
Ian
or
We
Walker.
is
got
it
Ian
Knights?
Walker.
All right.
Yeah.
Ian is a teammate of mine. Pretty good player. Amazing dude.
Bring out the forbidden power.
This is like a fun list. He looks like he's playing.
Oh yeah, Dexessa. I love it.
Sessif, really good, man. There's some hidden power in this one.
It's a lot of demonettes. It looks like both twins. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
I feel like
this
that's the
is-
only way to really play him now. Putting
This
one
is
in.
scarier than it might seem.
So explain, Jack. So let's first go through the list, because for our dearest listeners, you may not be able to read our minds in the past or see a screen.
Yeah.
So we've got Hedonites of Slaanesh with Epicurean Revelers, and they're running Forbidden Power. So Ian's taken Dexessa, one Infernal and Raptress with the icon of Infinite Excess, because
Great model.
it must have
Great
Infinite
model.
Excess.
I mean, after that Heart Man, she's up for that.
Shard Speaker of Slaanesh with Into the Fray.
Yep.
Great
20
model.
Bliss Barb Archers, 60 Demonettes in blocks of 20. And then it looks
Led
like
by the mask.
Oh yeah, and the mask. Then it looks like we've also got Sinessa,
The other twin. Yeah.
Non-double block of fiends, which is interesting. I want to know what those were there for, if they weren't just for like points.
Probably flanks.
Could be.
Yeah.
Okay.
They
I'll
only
throw a
move
couple
8
thoughts
though.
around
They're
this for
weird.
sure.
And then
I think
5 Seekers.
That's all you need.
So
You set them both up for flanks.
Yeah.
I think that's their purpose. They're there, right, to like make sure you can get that. But later on, I think Seekers are amazing objective snaggers because they're so fast.
Oh, phenomenal!
Yep.
Yeah. And
Even though they're
fiends
still
can
slow. They're
Yeah.
so slow compared to what they used
A lot
to
of
be.
people forget to on maps that have just a flat like half board style. If you do take the flanks, your whole unit doesn't have to be within 6.
Yep.
If you have a long unit of 5,
Yeah.
only one of them has to be within 6, and on the other, and like just a tidbit outside of your deployment. The rest of your like cavalry line can screen to an objective, so you can hold an objective in your zone, have one guy within 6 of the table edge and outside. And a lot of people forget that. They just kind of pile into the center or the little corner.
They blob it, right? Just they don't think you can do 2 things at once.
And those cav bases, you can stretch like 10
Oh,
inches.
yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
100%.
All you have to do is really like 4 corners it with just the tip, Like
Just the tip. That's all you need.
just the tip.
That's just fun.
So tell us, and this is 4 drops. So I'm guessing I guess the Infernal and Raptress is the Field Sergeant.
Probably.
Excess Demonettes. Just for a lot of like probably Unga Bunga in the middle.
You got Unga Bunga in the middle.
It's got some interesting stuff there, right? I mean, you think she's gonna go second, right? Almost always, or be forced to go first, to definitely not have that dictation. But yeah, a lot of like extra demonettes to make sure the demonette like package, one of them's there if you really need to do it. They have the Epicurean Revelers, so you got basically 9 dice for any rally, so it's really easy to bring a bunch of them back and take some chip damage or stuff. And they're gonna be fast as hell because you give any of these things like whatever it is, like the Epicurean Revelers or wherever the name of the faction trait is, when they get to run in charge, they run in charge.
Yeah.
So they're pretty quick, in terms of that. Add in the extra 2 inches, they're going to get where they want to go pretty easily. And they're going to either crit 2 with their hits or crit mortal if you get the spell off on them. And then these guys can get so many attacks because when
so
TTS,
many.
yeah, I mean they get +1 natively whenever they charge on the scrolls. They start at 2, so you count them up. They're at, like I think with 3 up for a rend 1 damage attacks on their own with no support. If TTS goes in too, it gives a bubble of a +1 attack, to some local demon units.
Okay.
And that means they're 4 attacks each. So each one of these 20 blocks can put out 80, potentially 2 up, 4 up, maybe crit mortal or crit 2 hit at least, attacks and stuff, which is enough volume of attacks to melt things. And if they really want to go for broke, like I guess Ian does the artifact, I think that gives it an aura of once again +1 attack. And if I'm just remembering Icon if in excess, yeah. You pop it, you pick a unit holding than 12, and you add +1 of the attacks characteristic for the melee weapons for the rest of the turn. So you can get 100 attacks off of any of these units in the right circumstances.
Then archers just behind your lines, just shooting shit.
Archers are always great. Yeah.
Doing everything to do, cleaning up other problem small units or softening up some big target.
Yep,
And like Sinessa is a decent wizard, but probably their biggest function in this, I think, is to give that -1 to hit to Sessa, because the Sessa's got to get in there and fight and build up their attacks and profit.
The mask is also insanely good on the Vice.
Yep.
And on 8 objective maps where you have to spread out. If they really have to think about giving you first turn, because the mask can just come outside of 3 and just charge in and kill some whatever shitty unit you have, get the +3 attacks, and just go in.
Yeah,
such a distraction Carnifex too, right?
Oh
Like
my God, yeah.
Well, they're doing that thing, and someone's trying to deal with it, or they're trying to screen out like their hero from being maybe assassinated. You're putting your 4 killers on your units and going to town.
There you go.
I've seen a lot of games where people will have play like Seraphon. They'll just put like their little pterodons in the back, or their skinks, and then they'll say, "You go first," and then they're like, "Oh, the mask outside your 3 pterodons. I'm just going to come in and kill your back objective." You now have to divert back to the mask.
Yeah.
And get on that objective, or else you're not going to come back. You don't have to. Your focus is no longer forcing on the center objective on like turn 3 or 3 to 5 on the Vice. You're not going to get to that ever if you don't answer that.
And she's such like a good little mini fighter. I mean, for 140 points to do that, already paid for herself, total game winner. Yeah. And you
just
do have
like
to commit some stuff.
Just like with those random little sub 150 characters that will just win you the game sometimes.
Yeah,
it's true.
Just a nice little toolkit.
Yeah, big mask fan. But yeah, I think that's what this is all about. The one last thing I throw out there, which I think is a neat piece of tech, is those fiends can do a little bit of double duty once they're taking their flank or whatever, because they do exude a potential strike last, always strike last. Yep. So that's the best thing.
Shout out the pod.
Sephoric
must.
Jack, you're referring to the 1994 masterpiece, The Mask, right?
Absolutely, with Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah. Okay.
I wish we had the option.
Not referring to Son
place
of the
that
Mask.
model on the table. Oh man. Someone should commit to the bid, and every time they use the mask, just recite lines from the movie.
No, if they were committing to this Neshi bit, they would refer to Son of the Mask.
I bought a funny story about the mask side tangent, as we always have to have one.
Sure.
I bought a recast Nagash model online, and I've bought a fair amount of recasts in my life, and nothing has ever broken me like this model. I've built some spindly recast models in my life, but I spent about 20 hours trying to build the Nagash, and I just couldn't. I gave up. I eventually put it in like a plastic bag and threw it outside my door. And then the next day, like I woke up to go outside to go to work, and it was back at my door, like when Jim Carrey threw the mask away in the river.
It was the crows. Even the crows didn't want it.
Yeah.
I was really hoping you're gonna say it was just fully assembled and sitting there, and that would have been just the most.
No, I gave it away to my friend Celine, and I was like, please, I never want to see this again. Use it as
Absolve me of this terror.
I have, if I ever want to play Nagash, like total random tangent, but I have like the best solution, which is the super old Nagash I had from when I was a child. Yeah. Just gonna put him on a big ass base, and I actually used one of his arms in a conversion for one of my Wilder Fiends, so I'll have to give him a converted arm, and I just will be
Nice.
unapologetic about it.
It's funny because one of
Mhm.
our local players, Dirk, around here, was doing that for a while, and he made him like accurate, and it's really just like 4/5 of the model is just this mound, and then you have the old tiny Nagash if you want him like height accurate.
It is
Yeah,
epic. He's
close
standing on top
encounters
of a
mound up
tor.
on a base.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And just this tiny Nagash on top.
Little
Oh,
skelly
that's
tor.
hilarious.
Yeah, that's cool.
Hmm.
All right. So third list, we got Zach, Boy's
Rats.
Joy. Zach's one of
Rats,
local guys here. Great dude.
All right.
Yep.
Oh,
on the
and
claw
I
board.
think we've got somebody pulling off in the front for list names. That's amazing.
This could be a real contender in the Northwest kind of name
It's
championships.
a very Northwest thing.
It very much is.
Matt, you want to read it out?
I felt
You should
so
read it
hard.
out.
Can I interest you in a message about our Lord and Savior, Jesus?
I love it. I love it already. Okay.
It's
Okay.
super good. Super good.
So
So
what do we
who's
got
got this
here?
read off? Who's got
I
this
think
read off?
I think it's you because you did the big line.
Oh, okay then. All right. All right. Back to back. So we've got Skaven using Clawhorde, and it's going to be a 2-drop, Lore of Ruin, and then Forbidden Power.
Another
Nice.
Which is
Forbidden
showing up a
Power.
lot
Okay.
for some
Yeah.
reason.
Burden Power is clutch.
Yeah.
It's so good.
General's Regiment is going to be Lord Screech with a Deathmaster as a sidekick. Secretly still one of the most awesome models and units
Very underrated
in
model.
Skaven.
Yep.
Speaking of awesome Skaven models, I can't wait for the Tacoma Open to get that new Claw Lord.
Yeah.
He is amazing.
I'm not sure I
Purdy.
saw him. I gotta look that up.
He purdy.
Yeah.
Nice.
If I get an extra one, I'll mail it to you, Jack.
Oh, please do. Hero.
So then we got a reinforced unit of Storm Vermin, as you would, because they are a pain in the ass to fight against.
They're only 240?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're cheap for what they do.
Oh,
They're
sorry. I was
so
thinking
cheap.
Storm Fiends for a second. Like, Jesus.
Oh, no.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Dude.
I think we'd be seeing a
That
lot
would be
of Skaven
1/4 of
lists.
the army.
And you mean Jesus?
Yeah, Jesus.
Jesus. And then reinforced unit of Jezzails, which is cool.
We
It's a
love our
good solid
snipers.
block, right? There's your there's your anvil in the most Skaven way. And then you've got my boy, the Vermin Lord Deceiver. And he's got Foulhide and Scurry Away. So that's the main dude in this list. That's where all your damage is coming from, or that's your threat at the very least. 2 units of clan rats for good old body bods. For those who don't know, those come in 20. So and then we have another reinforced unit of Storm Vermin. This list kind of makes a lot of sense. You got a slow moving blob, comes up to the middle, owns the table, shoots off stuff that gets in the way, while the Verminlord Deceiver just wreaks havoc on whatever it runs into, right?
Yeah. It's just such a cool model. It's such cool rules. You know, I haven't seen Zach play this list, but he's on a team with me for like the Wicked Dicey Retreat. So I've heard some of the secret sauce, which I cannot reveal here. I will say this is very cool.
Dialed in.
Yeah, it looks like he's had practice with it for sure. Foulhide and Scurry Away is going to just keep that guy on the table so much more. Scurry Away, they can run away from combat. And then I think it's on a 3 and up. And then Foulhide, they just heal 3, D3 or 3 at the end of every turn.
Yep.
So they're just like, A, they're impossible to kill. B, the Verminlord Deceiver actually got so much better in this edition with the codex, or not the codex, with the book. It's just so much more consistent than it used to be.
They're underplayed.
Yeah, I mean, they're 410 points, right? So like, I'd love to bring back my all Deceiver list. That would be so rad.
It's kind of nice seeing
remember that one.
Skaven lists kind of evolve over the past, I want to like this year, going away from just how many rattling guns can I fit in a list,
Oh,
and just a few
Yeah.
other random things too.
yeah,
We're seeing the brand new Storm Fiend models on the table, which is great.
yeah,
Yeah.
We're seeing, Screech come back. He changed a lot from the previous book. Um, it's probably still a actual like straight to jail crime if you play Skaven and don't link clan rats.
mhm.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
100%.
not exactly. You could play,
Rat
you could
ogres, I
play
guess.
Rat
all
ogres,
rat
yeah,
ogres, or if
yeah,
you want to be really stupid, you could play an oops all Eshin list like I did for
Yeah.
like a year.
Rat ogres
Um,
are like the best, worst war scroll in the game right now. Like they're
yeah,
either
they're so
that is a great
really
way
weird.
of putting it.
good or
Yeah,
just terrible.
I
Yeah,
think,
swingy as anything.
well, they're still infantry, right? Or
Yeah.
are they beasts?
yeah.
They're
So
infantry.
if they're infantry, like Field Sergeant gave them a boost. I think I think Skaven have that problem the same way that um Stormcast and Slaves to Darkness do.
Mhm.
They have a
Well,
lot of units. Even pared
sure.
down, they have a lot of units. And some things are just auto takes because of
Yeah.
some rules interactions here and there, right?
Okay, okay.
And
Mhm.
I could see Skaven, it took me what, till last month before I seriously started building lists for them because it was just so skewed looking at everything until we
The
had points
shooting immortal.
decreases and move
Yeah.
around and stuff,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I think
Okay.
they're still going to be a hard army to
They're in
play,
a good
but
place right now.
yeah, but they're also punishing. They are punishing
Yeah.
to play against. So I
For
love it. I love
sure.
this list.
It's
Yeah.
very
I
cool.
hope
I
to
mean,
parent you, Zach.
see that, Zach? You got a challenger. We'll see what happens next round.
Yeah.
All right. Now we got Benjamin Molly. Ben's another friend
Ogres.
and local here.
Ben.
Ben actually also plays a lot of Skaven, in addition to ogres. So this is very cool. See
Uh-huh.
this.
Is
Another forbidden
this
power.
So you're
is
telling me I
this
need to get some shards of Varengar or whatever they're called.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you do. Also, it's your turn to read, Rocco. I think it's
Yeah,
It
your
Rocco.
is.
Jump
Yeah.
into this, my
Yeah.
friend.
We've got Ogre Mara Tribes, Prophets of the Gulping God, 3 drops. Again, we got they've got the one prayer and spell lore, and they're bringing forbidden power. We've got the General's Regiment with the Tyrant, the Fang of Gur, touched by the Everwinter as well, and a Bloodpelt Hunter. Again, probably going, let's see, because we've got the second regiment of Butcher, a Gorger Mob Pack,
Yeah.
double reinforced Iron Guts for that beef,
It's
that
definitely
Blood
for a
Pelt
field sergeant.
Hunters, yeah, Field
Hmm.
Sergeant all day. Then we got a second regiment, like a third regiment, the General Regiment, the number's all funky, of a Slaughtermaster and some Noblars. We love a good Noblar.
Yeah.
Um,
2 units of Noblars. So what is
two,
they're
yeah,
in 20, right?
they
They're
are
in
in
units of
20s.
20. Cool.
They're
So
They
that's
great
are.
little units. Just great.
40 Noblars. Cutest
Yep.
models ever made.
Take up a lot of space, screen really well, die
Hmm.
even better for you, and
Mm-hmm.
those Iron Guts can still just punch through anything they want.
This is a
They
hard
got
army to
the
play.
It
big
is.
iron slabs there, so
It
good.
is. It. Hmm.
I've only
And
played
they're bringing the
ogres a
Maw
few
Pit too.
times.
All right, go on,
In this
Alex.
edition, they're very finessey. They're like the
Yeah.
destruction version of Daughters of Cain.
Mm,
If you
Yeah.
are super technical with them, get
hmm
lucky, um, you can do some damage, but they're a
Yeah.
very high skill cap army.
Yeah.
Um,
Gone are the
Another army
days
I
of
would
just
not
go with the
start if they're
monster
your first
trucks.
army. Yeah.
One thing I like about this list is it has a bunch of stuff going on. I agree with
Mm,
you, by the way, Alex, and all of that. But it's cool, right? We get the Noblars for sitting on stuff or screening or blocking, whatever. You have the Maw Pit, right? So they're going to stick one of those things in as the head slaughter master, and
yeah.
have the mortal wound ship damage and stuff within 18 inches, and then the Iron Guts are the Iron Guts, right? They can do some work, and it looks like enough utility's been built in around
Oh yeah.
just being able to go grab objectives and interfere and mess with people to blood pelts,
Mhm.
and have, I think what Touch with Everwinter's right, making him a priest, be able to cast some of those, key prayers that it would be
Yeah.
really interesting to play this.
And
And
blood
also,
pelts, do they have deep strike? I can't remember.
I'll double check, but right now
The Gorger
I'm
is
looking
Deep
at
Strike.
Noblars. The
Yeah,
Gorge
That's what
definitely
it
do.
is.
they're great that way.
They are.
Big unit ogres come out of nowhere.
Yeah, but
That's the
again,
noise
one
they
more
make.
shout out to the Noblars because everyone sleeps on them, I swear. They also do a little bit of mortal wounds when you move within 6 of them.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yep.
All those mortal chip
It's
damage in this is
it
pretty
keeps
good.
going.
And they're still the cutest model ever.
Yep,
They're
yep.
up there.
So
Yeah.
what was it? Yeah, I guess the janky thing mode of Blood Belt Hunter, if no one's encountered it, is that it's a little beast hunter thing, but it has a movement ability where once per turn in the enemy movement phase, if it is more than 9 inches of enemy units, it just gets to move again. This was your movement phase, so it can be
Yep.
getting funny places.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. That's
Mhm.
that's way better than a D6 roll on little wolves with
Yeah.
goblins.
Like
Yep,
Again,
yep.
And the
there's
damage goes to
Noblars.
max damage on its weapons. When it shoots a monster, it gets an
Mhm.
anti-monster +1 rend on the spear. It's nice for what it
Yeah, their
does.
their
That's
combat
true.
profiles are still scary looking. It's just they
Hmm.
got to make it there, right? And make that
Yeah.
charge.
It's
All
true.
right, we got Eddie next.
All right.
Yep, yep.
Eddie
Eddie played in our last
Corando.
GT, right?
What was
Or our
that,
last
Alex?
Eddie played in our last RTT, right?
Mhm.
I don't think he made it into our
No.
last
Did he not?
RTT.
Oh.
He was a little smaller. He was only 14.
Well,
But
he is, however, a guest of the show.
guest of the
Yeah,
show, a
that's what it
Patreon,
Yeah.
was. We
buddy of
talked
mine from over
Deepkin.
here. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He's very good at the Deepkin. Scary
Hmm.
stuff. And this one is
A
the
lot of
Achillean
fish.
Beastmasters there. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
This is like the
Lot.
standard cookie cutter fish list that's popular right now.
It is. It's
You
the
want to
one that
walk through it,
I was
Alex?
thinking of doing. Yeah, hit it, Alex. Go for it, Alex.
Yeah. This list is called I Don't Know What I'm Talking About. You can see it in the name, the
All
IDK. Primal Energy is pretty standard. Achillean Beastmaster. So, correct me if I'm wrong, Rocco. That's the crit 2 hits, or no, +1 hit for all the mounts.
Good man. You
+1
corrected
hit for all the
yourself.
mounts.
Definitely the
Lord of
one
the
to go to.
Deeps is a teleport, and then everything else doesn't matter, if
Pretty
I'm
much.
right.
Yeah, there's a horde clear, there's a red reducer, but you're really there for the
Yeah.
out of combat
Yeah.
teleport. Yeah.
Yep, yep.
Eidolon of never hitting me on less than 4s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Gross.
Ancient Pride and Armor of the Sithai.
Gross.
Best
Yeah.
combo in the game right there. I love it.
It is.
Combat eels, double combat
Reinforced
eels,
combat eels.
another reinforced unit combat eels. So that's what,
Mm-hmm.
12, 18 combat eels.
Yep.
I think the technical term is zappy eels.
Yes, these are the
Zappy
impact hit
eels.
mortal wounds.
The
Yes.
kill them on turn 1 or 2, or else you're fucked.
Yep.
Yeah,
Eels.
pretty much.
Yep.
Yep.
There's more too,
Then you
though.
have the Soul Scryer. That is, I forget. That's not the one that got changed to a priest. That's
It
the
was a
wizard
priest
one.
changed to a wizard.
Yeah.
This is the deep striking hero because Deepkin can have a regiment in
Yeah.
reserve. They pop out 6 inches from a table edge.
40
He
and
can
then 40 bow guys.
Yep.
yeah.
Does he still
40
do the
bow guys.
recursion?
No, not this one. What this one does is it lets you deep strike a unit that's in reserve off of him instead of a table edge.
Oh yeah.
And you can set them up slightly closer to. I think it's maybe outside of 7 off the top of my head, but the idea is 40 archers is 80-ish
80
shots.
Yep.
That
And
seems
they've got
fishy to me.
Crit
Decent
auto
speed.
wound.
Mm-hmm.
But
Good volume.
I heard that, Alex.
You're welcome.
Cool. Yeah.
And no, this is a very alpha E list.
Yeah.
This army does not want to play past turn 4.
Doesn't want to play
I mean, if
past
they
turn
are, they're
3, to
just
be
probably
honest.
mopping up, cleaning up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's don't get doubled by this army.
That's
or
for
else-
sure the
Seriously.
rule. I like this variant though. I mean, there's a bunch out there where you don't have the Reavers, right? And you
Mhm.
have the turtles and other stuff like
Yeah.
that, which is also very good, but then you don't have these shooting options. And I'm like
Mhm.
once again in love with the shooting phase. I am the chaos player who loves the shooting phase the most, who does not officially play Skaven.
Do you have
So-
60 Splinter Fang in the garbage can right now?
I have many splintered fangs hiding in the depths of my basement, so yes, I do the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't feel
Sadness.
bad for any of those people.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, very solid list.
Good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
also a team member of mine in the retreat, so I've heard
There
a bit
you
about this
go.
one,
I like
but
it. I
I
like
think it's some
it.
cool ideas there.
All right. And it apparently
OBR.
won its open round.
Yeah, it beat
There you
Scott, looks
go.
like. This must have
It
been an
looks like
awesome
close
game.
game. 45-30, 38. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Scott was playing OCR Clone Reapers, another beloved Patreon, friend of the channel.
There you go.
See what
The
he's got here.
Bone Zone.
I like this. This is a good name. At least the Bone Zone is a solid name. I mean, it's
Yeah.
I posted this list
fun.
about a month ago in our Discord. I was playing this list on TTS. I love this army.
Nice.
Well, what do we got here, Alex? Why don't you talk this one through? Because I don't know it very well.
Yeah, it's OBR. It's a very big alpha pin. Typical Nagash army. I don't look at armies that play Nagash as like this is OBR Nagash. This is a Nagash army. Like it's
Okay.
Nagash. His four sub factions are, Soul Blight, OBR, Nighthaunt.
Yeah, that seems
Those
right.
are it's like his own army.
Okay.
Yeah, this is brutal. 6 Mortis Guard, 10 Death Riders, and then 2 teleporty cohorts. He's going to deploy everything on the line, go first, auto move those Death Riders up 10 inches, and then charge turn 1, giving
What
him
do
a
the
5
cohorts
board.
do for you here?
They teleport. So
Yep.
instead of moving, they can teleport, or they deep strike.
Okay.
So
that's
he's
cool.
going to put them on objectives,
Okay.
and then move off, and then just score points that way.
Makes sense.
The Mortis Guard give Nagash a 4-up ward, so he's sitting there with a 3-up, 4-up. Morbid is, just because Nagash is a 9-cast wizard.
Makes sense.
He wants to move Nagash up as close to them as possible, pin them in. He can bring back Death Riders with Nagash's spell, do the retreat and charge, and then cast Drain Vitality with 12 inches, because that's the real sweet spot. If you can get Drain Vitality off on a unit and then charge it with pretty much anything in OBR, like they're dead.
Yep.
6
Yeah,
Mortis Guard
right.
also aren't scrubs in combat.
Fair enough.
Just for casual listeners, Dream Vitality, what's the effects of the spell again?
It is one of the best spells in the game. It goes off on a 7. You pick an enemy unit within 12 inches, and they are -1 to hit and to save until your next turn.
So
Big emphasis on the
good.
till your next turn.
Yeah.
It is absolutely brutal, but it has that 12-inch range. I cast that spell a lot this last weekend and won my RTT with it.
Nice.
Very fun.
It was a very powerful spell, especially when you're hitting on, like, his Death Riders are most likely +1 Eren to whatever, cavalry, beasts, infantry, whatever your opponent has. So if he can get that off, his Catalyst Death Riders are just slamming in at Ren 3, damage 2. Probably hitting on 2s and 3s with the spells and the commands. It's
just
That
clean
do it.
house.
I love
Yeah,
it.
you
I
ain't
love
living
it.
if you get charged by that.
This looks like so much fun to play. I mean, I bet that game between those guys is a blast. I wish I had a chance to watch it.
Oh yeah, it's honestly probably a very good matchup into Deepkin, because he's going to dictate going first. Deepkin's going to have to spread out, and then he's in his deployment zone. Like there ain't nothing you can do. And giving Nagash that 4-up ward, and he's probably going to be all out defensed. He's going to be sitting there on a 2-up, 4-up, and you can be making a lot of those armor saves. You can screen yourself out with, Grave Tide, Shackles. You can do it all.
Yep. Sounds about right.
Love it.
Well, good stuff.
Yeah.
So who is next in our line?
Ooh, Nick.
Senor Gonzalez.
Right. Some Soul Blight. Old guard Soul Blight, not new guard Soul Blight, because of course timing. But what we got
this
here?
Is interesting. There's not. I do have a critique, Nick. And I feel like since we were in a work meeting the other day, I feel like I can share this with you.
Okay.
Not enough Vargeist, my dude. You need at least 6 more Vargeist. But anyways. So
nearly 3.
This is actually a pretty good name. It's a Nosferatu. I like that. It's pretty good. He's rolling Soul Blight Gravelords with Bacchanal Blood, which, for those who don't remember, it's +1 to cast if you're not in combat, +1 to wound if you charge.
Only for vampires.
Only for vampires, yes. But huge. Rolling with Lore of Undeath and Morbid Conjuration. And then he's got Manfred.
All right.
which Manfred is Manfred. Everybody loves him.
He got better.
Yeah,
Fettuccine
he did. He
Manfredo.
got much better. Reinforced unit of Graveguard, as expected with Manfred, and a White King, as expected with Graveguard. He's got Lash of the Sire. For life of me, off the top of my head, I can't remember what that one does.
Roll d6 on a 2-up. They move that far.
That's what it is. Can't move into combat, but they can pile in if they're already in combat. That's
that's a hero phase move, so they can move afterwards.
Yes, but they can't move into combat in the hero phase. But if they are in the hero phase, they can pile in.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Make that a field
if they're in combat, they can pile in. So next regiment. Well, and that also the secret sauce of this is that the White King is also a field sergeant. So he then starts spooting the Graveguard across the table. And it's also worth noting that we'll get to the rest of that.
He gives the Graveguard a better ward too.
Yep. And then we've got, for the second regiment, we got Radikar the Wolf, the big beastie boy himself. Just a small unit of death rattle skeletons. I imagine that's just for backfield or a screen in the beginning of the game.
It's a backfield.
Some dire wolves for a super screen at the beginning of the game. That's 2 units of 10 here.
And they can run off and do your battle tactics for
just
you.
be the most annoying things in the world. They are so hard to get off the table if you are not concentrating on them sometimes. And then for his third regiment, Vampire Lord. This is going to be on foot for those who are thinking of the new book. This is only on foot because this is pre-book. We had the rules cut off with the Orb of Enchantment, which is still really good and really interesting that it's on the Vampire Lord. And I bet it's because if somebody has made it back there, he can just turn them off.
Fair enough.
Another unit of reinforced Graveguard, which now that we've got a bunch of Graveguard walking at 8, no, it's not 8, it's 6 or 7, one of those two.
Very fast for Graveguard.
Very fast, yep. And then another unit of, or 1 unit of Vargeis, which them's are rookie numbers. You gotta put them up there.
The reason is Nick's been playing this a lot, and I've talked to him a lot about this list.
Okay.
Only 1 unit of Vargeis per turn with how it's worded can use the teleport. So you can't have like multiple units of Vargeis do this teleport in the same turn.
Yeah. And that comes down to like how you want to use them, right? For this is obviously like take their land, kill off any backfield stuff.
The flanks. It's an objective unit.
Yeah. Whereas I love using them as like big blocks of FU units. So
I dig it. This is fun.
Yeah.
Good last
it's got
Rocco.
really good board control. It's got really good board control. I like it.
Very good. Yep.
Good job.
Moving on to
Alessio
Berlotti, one of our Italians, Seraphon list.
Playing Seraphon.
Alpha Croak Defense. Here we go.
I've seen this list before.
Would you like to take it away then?
Yeah, Alex, if you feel a little familiarity.
Your stereotypical Croak bomb list, Sunclaw, Starhost. So he gets to do the move with the skink stuff. Forbidden Power for the pulling all the utility that Forbidden Power brings, bridge, everything. Croak is Croak. He is one of the best spellcasters, if not the best spellcaster in the game. 6 Lancers, which are beefy. I believe mathematically more damage, even not on the charge, than War Spawn because of the rage tokens with the mounts.
Oh yeah.
I don't like them or agree with it, but sometimes you have to, as a baseball fan, Rocco, you know this. Sometimes you don't have to listen to the stats; you have to listen to the eye test.
Yeah.
I love that.
And I prefer Crocscar over them. Skinkscar Priest, Wizard, typical little wizard to help out. hunters, 2 units of skinks teleporting. They're going to do your tactics and
Love a
mess with
chameleon
you.
skink.
Another skink star priest, the Codal Familiar, and the Beastmaster, just buffing and doing his stuff. The Bastilla Dawn with his awesome, just 2-up armor save, dishing up mortals. This is Rampage. Very good on a little wing. Big hammer unit of War Spawn, and then a unit of skinks. And I think typical skinks are taken in packs of 10.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
I believe that's the case.
So lots and lots of skinks. The Lancers are just going to be a fat hammer because he's probably going to give him the bonus rend, being in his general's reg. And he's probably just going to yeet them. Forbidden Power is super helpful. I mean, you could bridge them out of combat and then charge another unit. You can. There's so much utility. Can save Croak's butt. He's looking at setting up kind of a little bit outside his deployment and just nuking stuff with the Bastilla and Croak. Very strong, very typical list. Most of the time you see this list with Morbid, but I like Forbidden Power a lot. I think it's solid.
Yeah.
This
and then
is
it
fun.
can keep the Croxagore can keep up with the Lancers too.
Yeah.
Kind of move everybody up and rush them.
It's good.
I know that it's like a points thing. I'm pretty sure it's a points thing, but it's always weird to see dart pipes instead of bolas because bolas are so traumatizing mid-game by stripping 1 dice from a charge.
Yeah.
So it's always like I've had the explanation given to me of why to go with dart pipes, but like man, anytime take the bolas, man.
I mean, I always just get jealous. I mean, both of those abilities coming off this just amazing debuffs from like skirmishy screeners. Like, what is it? -1 to wound if you do some with them. Like, that's still great. Give me that on like a bunch of Marauder Horsemen for my Dark Oath, please. But why can't I do that?
You know? Yeah, for sure.
Which is a 50 point unit that's going to score you a battle tactic.
Yeah.
Yep.
All
right, very good.
Ambush and all that. All right,
good.
good stuff there, Alessio. This looks fun, man. Who's next? We got Charles. Oh, Charles.
That was Seraphon.
The
bandwagon.
Charles.
Lizwagon.
Slightly different.
Yeah. Good. Another good Croak list. Turns out this list doesn't work against Nurgle.
Weird.
But where's that heart in that sleeve?
Yeah. This is almost the same list.
Yeah. Morbid as well.
Similar.
I can run through it quick. I don't want. I
got
want
it.
to tag me.
You got it. You got it.
You got it.
So again, Sunclaw, Star Host, 2 drops, looking for Morbid Conjuration this time. We've got a Croak, we've got the reinforced Agrodon Lancers, the Bastillodon with Arcasotek now in the General's Regiment, and 2 min-units of Saurus Warriors. And then our other regiment, we've got a Starseer with a Cult of Familian Beastmaster. And then we still have 2 units of Hunters of Hanshi, 1 with Dart Pipes, 1 with the Bolas for the extra debuff, and a min-unit of Croxagore.
Which is interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder why. Well, I wonder what the decision was to not pop into to doubling up. Maybe it's because the Agrodons wanted to reinforce them.
Maybe. I think this is a more of a sit and grind list.
Yeah.
With the Saurus Warriors getting the +1 armor save on the objective.
Oh, I
less people to come to him with Croak and just.
They're 2 wounds now, right?
Yeah.
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 And if they're left in the backfield or in his deployment area, they're essentially -1 to your rend. They remove a Pippa rend, so they can unless you
and
have
you can do the spell to do another rend. So he can have them essentially 3-up ignoring rend 2, and then he can all defense them.
Yeah, so they're probably one of the most durable units in the game from shenanigans.
Yeah, that's
160 points. Yeah,
they're ridiculous. They're
great value.
They're so annoying.
Does he not have like a mortal wound? Say, I guess he doesn't. Maybe that's what Nurgle did to him.
He has Croak and Bastillodon.
Yeah, I'm just curious what Nurgle did to get to Charles here.
Just shrugs. All they have to do is just survive the Croxador Croxagore, right? The Agrodon Lancers are going to throw out a decent amount, but then
They can't be
they're stuck
everywhere.
in combat and getting mortal wounds. And,
Okay.
Well, yeah, he's traded the extra punch of the double hammer for like one hammer plus a lot more utility, and that's where he would fall short with the dark, I guess, right?
well,
I'm
and,
still
and
waiting
just
to
the
see someone. Oh, go ahead.
just the fact that like if he's going into Nurgle, right? He's going into if it's the kind of Nurgle list I'm thinking of, majority 3+ saves with a 5 and up shrug, like they're a lot more survivable than you
Hmm.
think, and they can be
Okay.
faster because now you actually want to play them with a field sergeant, right?
Yeah.
So
Fair enough.
and flanking Nurgle is actually kind of terrifying for this list because if you
Still
have
struggles against disease.
yeah,
Mm,
if you gut rot
fair
in on
enough.
the side, then all of a sudden, like Lord Croak is now getting a million attacks thrown at him, and that'll chew through the Temple Guard actually fairly quickly as well. So
I don't
it's
think he has
it's
Temple Guard in this,
Yeah,
actually.
there's no temple guard protection.
oh, I'm just saying in general, right?
Oh,
So it's
sure. Sure.
like if like they're just a good counter for this style of play, I think.
Yep.
Well,
Fair
there you
enough,
go.
Kern.
Good
All
army.
All
right.
right.
Very good
So
army though.
Charles.
I am terrified. Please don't build this army in real life, Charles.
All right. And Charles
Michael
facing off
Toons
against Michael Toons,
Michael
Soul Blight.
Got the
Toons.
win against him.
The
Yep.
Bone Daddy himself.
All right.
See what we
Another
got.
Manfred lover.
Follow Manfred to victory.
It's a good
Oh,
list. I played
like
against
this
this
one.
list of Sparkle. Very strong.
Oh, you played against this one, Alex. Why don't you roll through this one then if you had the direct experience of it?
Toons this is a very big board control list.
Okay.
He has the Graveguard, 2 units of Graveguard. Neither one are in his General's Reg, so you can't really like alpha them for battle tactic. He just has Manny and the White King. It's kind of like skirting behind. Very similar to Nick's list, but a little more grindy. He deep strikes one of his units of Graveguard and just kind of plays board control, wants you to come to him while he grinds you out.
Mm-hmm.
Kritz is very good at coming in the backfield, taking a random objective. This is a five turn army. It's not gonna have a lot of models left at the end of the game, but it's gonna tactic deny you to hell with Kritza or deep striking Graveguard, Fellbats coming around. Fellbats are fast.
Yeah. It'll
It's
definitely
brutal.
punish you for any life decisions.
Yeah. This is a very, very you do not want to play 3 objective maps with this list. You want to play those 6 objective, 8 objective maps, the Vice. This is a very big spread army list.
Yeah, I guess it'd be a nightmare against that for some armies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, pretty good list.
Very cool.
You have to be careful into it because the Necromancer making those Graveguard fight twice can be brutal.
Oh yeah, I'm sure if the Van Hells goes off, it's a bad day for anyone dealing with it.
Again, I do have one critique here, and that's just not enough Vargas. Need
Oh,
at least
yeah.
6 more Vargas. Need more
But
Vargas.
he's got a Kritza.
That is true.
I was
Kritza is
cooking with a
adorable.
list with 24 Vargas in the new book.
Dude, they're so nasty. I'm gonna do. I think 18 is my sweet spot because I still want an anchor.
That's
So
well, that's
as soon as
they're so cheap.
Yep. Yeah. They're cheap and they are spiky, but like if you want to add the extra Ren to them, we'll see if that survives in the next General's Handbook. But that's really good at like having them just throw too many attacks. Oh, who do we have here?
Oh, it's me.
It's you.
What did Jack do?
Jack got a win. There you go.
I think he should probably talk about his own list.
All right. I'll do that. So I
No
decided
pressure.
to make my list my own special blackened snowflake of evil icy cold. It is the Fire Slavers, the 4 Warriors of Light, because I wanted to pretend I was like a Fire Slayer player and have a lot of cool fighty heroes. So rather than short kings, we went for medium kings in this particular iteration.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, see what we did there?
That's not what I thought. I thought we voted on Fire Slayers. Okay.
Oh, you misinterpreted that. All right,
I did.
So I'll roll through this
Anyway.
list, and then I'll open it up a little bit of like Matt's experiences with it, because he and I did play this one once, which was pretty fun, or a variation of it.
It's
But
very
it
interesting,
is
yeah.
total stereotypical cookie cutter Slaves of Darkness list. People probably seen this 1,000 times. Of course, it is the Dark Oath Horde and 5 drops with the Primal Energy Manifestation. Got the General's Regiment with a Chaos Sorcerer Lord rocking the Infernal Puppet. A reinforced unit of Chaos Warriors, the Dread Banner, and of course, an Exalted Hero of Chaos.
Love the Dread Banner.
So good. It's like the bread and butter of this army.
So broken. So broken.
So good. Next regiment, a Chaos Lord, with his friend, a Dark Oath Wilderfiend, with his other friend, an Exalted Hero of Chaos, who has the Radiance of Dark Glory, with his other friend, a Mind Stealer Spheranx. Then we go down to the next regiment, which is just an Exalted Hero of Chaos on his lonesome. Then you go to the next regiment, which is Gunnar Brand and his friends. So that's Singri, his daughter, and Osworn Kin, and a single unit of Dark Oath Savagers for princely 100 points. And then the last regiment is Regiment Renown, Bolt Claw's Injured Covenant. So that, of course, is Bolt Claw himself, who is a Warp Block Galvanier, a unit of Warp Bolt Scourgers, and a Rattling Warp Blaster. So cool 5 drops and a bunch of nonsense.
Can I ask you a question before we do a deep dive?
Yep.
How much of your game at the start is your opponent just asking you, what the fuck does this army do?
It is a
that's
variable
when you know
amount.
You've won the game. That's Jack and I's like sweet spot. It's like it doesn't matter how the rest of this
make
game
it make sense, man. What are we doing here? What's going on?
Yeah.
So I'll get to that, but to answer your question, Alex, always at least a substantial amount of discussion is had, but it does vary. But it's never not present.
I like it. I know what it does, but if I was a less experienced player, I would look at like there's a lot here, and on paper, just staring at it, it doesn't look intimidating. But then I would think of myself like, what am I missing that this person gets? Like there's something there that caused this person to spend his hard-earned dollars and time to come to this event to bring this list. It's like I'm missing something, but it's a very solid list.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It is a lot of fun to play, though. A bit wonky. I guess to get into just some of the stuff to highlight on. I mean, of course, it has a super amble, with the Chaos Source Lord sitting with a big unit of Chaos Warriors. That's an easy one to kind of look at, and that's there to have something to block things with, and to take a key objective, or to surge forward, and to shut off commands. It's really there to shut off commands in key times. I have the Dark Oath sub-faction, right? So that gives me a little bit of wonky recursion. That makes my Dark Oath Wilderfiend not only a sneaky generator of turning off commands or throwing out mortal wounds or doing more damage than you think. It makes him a really dangerous recursion piece that is likely to come back like 3 inches away from something you're trying to hide in the backfield or steal an objective. In the past, it's killed units of long strikes, which were carelessly placed. Stuff like that does happen when the Wilderfiend resurrects on that 3-up in your hero phase. The Dark Oath Savagers are kind of like a nice cheap utility infantry block. They can serve multiple roles. They might be going to die to come back. They might be holding some backfield objective or screening. They might be doing a whole bunch of damage, because you can turn these guys without even an additional hero to make them even scarier into 30 attacks off of this 10-point unit because of the Mark of Corn, and all of a sudden they're doing mortals and 6s. They can sometimes do something for you. Of course, you got the you got the Regiment Renown, so substantial shooting in this list, which gives you something to protect and like a lot of like fixes for things. Really good in anti-cavalry, because though both the Galvanier and the Scourgers have like Ren 2 and 3 against those particular targets. And then between Gunnar Brand and his friends, you have little pieces to move around and do some damage with. There's some shooting up Singri, but really it's to have 2 Dark Oath heroes, so you're more likely to be able to do your recursion. And it's to fill out, one of the quote unquote 4 Warrior of Light spots, follow the theme, where the 3 Exalteds and Gunnar get to be like a weird little pseudo unit, right? I mean, the kitty can either hang out with the Chaos Warriors or go with them and create a situation where you have a pretty decent like pseudo chosen unit with how cheap they are now running around, which can fragment off at any time and go in like 4 different directions if we want to deploy them all together, or they can just be spread across the board from the get-go. But if you do have a scary monster, or you have a scary hero, or you have, better yet, a scary hero who is a monster, the Exalteds go to 5 attacks, which are Rend 3 and Damage 3. That's before you mark with anything. And 3 of those can chew through like almost anything if it's the right target and you get the drop on them. Especially if you can proc Always Strikes Last, which you have to do, considering that's what the podcast's all about. There's a list around it.
It must be good.
And her brand is a good spell too, right?
His little witch does,
yeah,
like the one from the Oathsworn. She can point to a hero and I think do like a mortal wound to give them -1 to their attack profiles. I think that's what it was. I'll double check.
Very good against greater demons.
Well, and Singri as well has probably some of the if I remember correctly, she's also like almost impossible to hit from any shooting. So between her speed and that kind of like debuff to shooting, she's also like your immediate like objective grabber, right?
Yeah,
it's true.
So they're so good at flanks.
She's just yeet her wherever you need, and then like late game she owns whatever you need, right? Like
it's exactly that. And she runs around, steals an objective, threatens. It doesn't take the flanks for you. If she survives, then if Gunner dies, she's your back in the pocket. I can still revive my Darko things person, which is great. And you can make the whole army very fast because you get an easy field sergeant off of one of the the Exalted Heroes. Yeah.
That makes sense.
You almost always get it because you're 5 drops. Was that what you were thinking, Alex, when you were peeking at this one?
Yeah.
It's like a
menagerie. I'm a huge fan, and we've talked about this at length, of the Skaven Regiment of Renown. I love it.
It's so good.
It can just take over games sometimes.
Yeah.
It's how you play Chaos when you're not officially a Skaven and enjoy all the phases of the game.
This list is just chaos on multiple levels, and it is perfect.
It is like mad scientist. I do love it.
Matt, you gotta share like your quick experience with an earlier variant because you played your spoods against me.
Oh yeah. So one of the things that I really suck with at TTS is actually judging distances. Even though I've got the ruler there, it's just you don't really think about the size of the bases when you're playing spiders, which for anybody who doesn't know, they have the largest bases in the game. They're like god-sized bases.
They're 160, right?
Yeah.
So big.
But bodies, not gaudies, man.
Yeah, but they're not gaudies. They're just little gobos riding around on spoods.
We have half of that.
Yeah, so they're not the most survivable army in the first place. You're really playing uphill when you play the army. They're more for fun. But that was, I think, my first test game with that list. First or second. And I completely misjudged quite a bit of where my spiders could go, which is like, you know what? I'm just going to yeet into a 20 block of warriors, and I just want to see how much damage I can actually do with the moon. Turns out not enough. And also when there are, 4 or 5 exalted heroes, they will kill anything if you chain off well enough.
They love the big spiders too. Those fun.
Yeah. So it was a very quick game and a great learning experience of what I can and can't do, which is why I like those games a lot. But it definitely, that list is deceptively good. The other really good thing that showed up was I couldn't shoot any of those characters because they're just little baby characters. So the survivability of that list is way bigger than you actually expect. And that was something that just didn't occur to me right until there were 5 of them just skewering my poor arthropods. It was so sad. So sad.
It was a moment.
Hello, everybody. It is Rocco, your boy, coming at you once again with another Always Strikes Last promo. That's right. Ring that bell. Leave a like, a subscribe. On whatever platform you're listening to us on, be it YouTube, be it Podbean, whatever you got these days. You can keep up to date. Don't forget, we have a Patreon if you want to give us a thank you for all the stuff we put out. That gets you into our member-exclusive Discord. And if you want to be an even bigger supporter, we've got a merch store.